Alexander, if you would like to pose a second question.
Well, thanks. This is very interesting, and I thank you. On Senator Franken's point and Dr. DeWitt, I think that's very important. I mean, the disadvantage of nuclear power is that you can't turn them on and off. But the use of them, the demand goes way up in the afternoon. So if we had a really good storage system, probably the greatest beneficiary of a really good storage system would be nuclear power, because it produces so much electricity. The second thing, and on Dr. Gilliland's point, we use about a quarter of all electricity in the world in this country. So we're not going to run the country on windmills. I mean, I've said many times that's like going to war in sailboats when the nuclear navy's available. I mean, it's useful, it's helpful. And then third, on the subsidies, the senator from Maine asked about the Price Waterhouse. Well, the nuclear industry self-insures $3.75 billion, which has never been used for accidents. So the first money comes from the nuclear industry. I think it'd be important to point that out, Mr. Kaczynski, next time you get asked about that. And on top of that, then the government might come in. But we come in for many emergencies and disasters well before that. So that would be our responsibility. It's never been used. And as far as the phase out of the wind subsidy, I mean, let's think about this. It's been going 24 years. The last energy secretary was a Nobel Prize winner, and in a testimony before this committee, he said it is a mature technology. Now, small reactors aren't a mature technology. For the last 5 years, we've been trying to pay for the government's part in helping that get off the ground. Advanced reactors aren't a mature technology. That's where we might actually deal with climate change. We might actually deal with it there. And here we are wasting $4 or $5 billion a year. And the point that it's phased out, that's a trick. That's a trick. It's been phased out more than a dozen times. That's called an extension. Now they've just extended it for a longer period of time and called it a phase out. You know, but it costs $4 or $5 billion a year. I mean, it's not 4 or 40 or 50 million, it's 4 or 5 billion. That's the amount of money that would double what we could spend on energy research. So I think it's time for us to become rational about our energy policy, and rational to me means create an environment of government support through short-term support for new technologies. For example, there is a production tax credit for nuclear, which I guess, Mr. Kaczynski, you'll take advantage of. But it's capped at 6,000 megawatts. The wind is uncapped. That's another big difference the next time that question comes up. So I favor, Madam Chairman, short-term support for new technologies, and then they're on their own. The reason solar is about to be competitive is it does not have that kind of support. And so they've had some support, but nothing like these generous production technology. And as a result, the cost of solar has been coming down, and it's about to get competitive as a supplement to the huge baseload power that we need. So we need for the same thing to happen, not just with wind power. It needs to be on its own. I mean, right now we've got a big company trying to build big towers to destroy the landscape in Tennessee where the wind blows 18% of the time. That's absolutely absurd. TVA has said we don't need any more new electric baseload power for 20 years, and we've got taxpayers spending money they could be spending on clean energy research to build wind turbines in a place where they despoil the environment and where the power is not needed. That's really bad policy. So I'd like to see, as far as NuScale's support, the support for advanced reactors, the whole idea there is that you will be, that support will end, and you will be competitive, or you won't exist, right? I mean, you've said that to us in testimony, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's the approach, Madam Chairman, we should take with any of these new technologies. Where they're promising, we should invest heavily in research, perhaps even support jump-starting a new technology like advanced reactors, or maybe like small reactors, maybe some advanced reactor, but then get out of the way and then see what can survive. Solar is about to survive. We hope NuScale will survive. We hope some of these new advanced reactors will have that as well, and let wind power survive too. Then maybe some of these Illinois coal plants won't close because of negative Illinois Illinois nuclear plants won't close because of negative pricing. You've been very generous to let me extemporize here at the end, and I thank you for it.